Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Into the Looking Glass. I am Caylynne.
And I am Peiker.
And we are doing something different today. Instead of just serial killers, we're talking about our paranormal experiences. And ironically, it's a very windy, fucky freaky night outside.
Yeah.
So if you hear shit outside, I'm sorry. We're not exactly in a podcast studio. We're not making millions.
Yet, anyway.
Yes. So we have a door to separate us from the wind, and that's it.
Also the Wendigo outside. Just watch out.
Shut the fuck up. Why?
He's out there.
Stop it. I'm already paranoid.
Anyway.
Okay. I do want to mention that I do not summon these things. Although I wanted to do ghost investigations. That was my plan to do with my friends last year. And then pandemic took over and I was like, September we'll be fine. We'll be out of this mess.
None of that.
Yeah, none of that. I do watch paranormal stuff, which I do think does open up some of the stuff, because when I do watch these things, generally some freaky stuff generally happens in my room as well.
Well, I mean, because most of them use ghost boxes, and that it kind of feels like it does draw energy to whatever's in your room with you, if that makes any sense. Like, if the ghost box is active on the YouTube or whatever you're watching, it's literally a ghost box in your room as well if it's loud enough.
But
so
I watch through earphones.
Okay, it makes sense, but I mean, if I don't usually have earphones to watch with, so I tend to like drown out the ghost box scenes when I don't have earphones, but sometimes I forget, and sometimes stuff might get a little bit through there.
Okay, so well, basically, if you don't believe in ghosts, this might be a bunch of crap to you, but to us, we've had plenty of experiences.
Yeah.
Like I said, we do not summon these energies and spirits.
No.
No.
Not intentionally, anyway.
No, not intentionally. And then it's like, whoopsies, now there's something in my room watching me sleep. Great.
Hopefully it's Grandma.
I don't want Grandma watching me, to be honest.
Grandma's protecting us, so, whatever.
Okay.
She loves me. I think.
Wow. I also just want to note that I do have quite a lot of stories, but I asked my mother found her old journal, which she used to document a lot of things I used to say. And yes, I was that creepy kid who was in the closet talking to things.
That is awesome.
My mom was just like, you know what, fuck it, this kid is weird, I'm documenting this.
That's
stuff.
cool.
No, because I could have been that kid that's like, we're gonna die soon.
No, but that's cool. Like, you shone. Like, if we existed in the Stephen King universe, you'd be shining right now.
I'm a Danny. Little Danny turn.
At
kind
least.
Of. No.
At least you're not seeing a dead lady in the bath right now.
Oh, God. And you want to know why I don't like being in the bathroom alone?
Oh, yeah, especially when I leave the room.
Yes.
Anyway.
Anyway. Do you want to go first? With something?
Not necessarily. I think you should start us off.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go first off my mom's notes. She said, well, one of the notes, she said, Caylynne, from 16 months, certain months certain colors were allocated to different people. She later figured out this was auras that I was seeing around people. So it's not really paranormal, but it's kind of like interesting.
Weird thing to add though. The other day, when we had training at work, the lady that was giving us training, I don't know what happened, but I could see an aura around her, which is very strange. Because I've never seen an aura around someone in this place, but her specifically had this grayish aura, which was super scary.
Oh no!
I don't know why.
Oh no!
It was very weird.
Didn't she also say something weird? That was like, hey... No.
Not really, no.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't know what a gray
It was so
is.
odd.
What does gray mean?
Well, it wasn't necessarily grey. I think it was like more whitish than grey. But it was it was an opaque. I don't know if that's the word.
Yeah.
It was very plain.
Interesting.
It's like your pants.
It's like my pants, which is a light grey.
Yeah, it's like a light. It's like a light, bright grey. No one else around me had anything. It was just this lady, which was very odd.
I'm actually curious. I want to look this up. Light grey aura. Ota. Thank you, correct.
At least it's not an Audi.
Represents a bridge within your life, and it's up to you to choose in which direction to travel. So she's confused. Okay.
Makes sense.
Denote a skeptical outlook or a person prone to seeing the glass half empty.
Ah.
Okay. Good luck to her.
Nice.
Then, like I said, I was that kid who was sitting in the closet. Anyway, so, this is again my mother's notes. So she wrote, 15 to 16 months, Caylynne has an imaginary friend. The friend's name is Tyler. Tyler lives in our cupboard. Caylynne has to knock to get Tyler's attention. The little girl had a pretty face with freckles and lots of curly, long red hair.
What was her name? Is there?
Tyler.
Was Tyler the little girl?
Yes. That is the little girl I was seeing.
That's scary.
So she was about 10 years old.
And you were what age?
15, 16 months.
Whoa. Okay, so you're basically like one and a bit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find. There was a thing that it did continue. Now it's not here, and I'm kind of upset. But yeah, I would kind of hang out with Tyler quite a lot, and apparently, if my mom was like, "Hey, get out of the fucking closet, you come eat or something," I would get really angry, and I'd be like, "No, you've chased Tyler away."
Oh my god, that is scary.
Yeah. So that was Tyler. There was one apartment we kind of lived in, apartment or townhouse.
Where was this? Was it saying
Bloemfontein?
Okay. Well, Bloemfontein is very active with this kind of stuff, I think.
Kind of a lot of war situations centered around it, but hey!
I think the Free State in general is just like a very big hotspot for stuff like
every
that.
place I've lived in, I've listed something down here.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you want to have a turn?
Sure. Like, I think like one of the earliest things that I can kind of remember that I later on realized was probably a little paranormal. Is I also had an imaginary friend. Contrary to what my mother said like a while ago, like I had one.
Okay.
And they're aware of this, but I don't think they like talking about it.
Okay.
Yes. See, I used to go on little picnics outside when I was like maybe like 4 or 5, right? Maybe even way younger than that. Probably like 3.
Okay.
So I used to like pack a little picnic basket and take a towel and stuff outside and have a little picnic outside with what I refer to as the wolf. Right? I know, it's so weird.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I don't remember much about it, but I just remember because in my grandma's house, she had a photo of me having this picnic on her fridge.
Okay.
And that's why I remember. And the weirdest part is like this is so vivid when I think back. Like I can remember like going outside and everything, and my parents like watching me, whatever, and I was just having picnics with the wolf. That was literally it. Wow. And it just kind of went away. Like this wasn't like once or twice. This was a few times. And yeah, I just stopped. I guess later on, like it didn't evolve into anything else. Maybe it was something. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's very odd. The name itself, the wolf.
That's a bit freaky.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah. Especially like with my heritage on my mother's side, with the Germanic stuff. A lot of that stuff is very, I wouldn't say Nordic, but rooted in that.
Yeah.
You know, it's odd.
Yeah.
Very odd, especially with my great-grandfather's, you know, stuff.
Well, makes sense.
You know.
I mean,
Odd stuff.
Definitely. How old are you?
Probably like 3, 4. I was very little.
So just before school started, basically.
Yeah.
The thing is, as well, like, a lot of this stuff, it kind of, like, it's a thing. People say that as a kid, before school, you see these things until people start going, you're just imagining things.
Yeah.
And then school pressure also builds, and then you kind of lose this ability.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. That's why I think in places like the Middle East, not Middle East, the eastern parts of the world, like Asia, that area, the kids are they're taught to meditate. They're taught that these abilities that they have are
Unique.
abilities. Yeah, unique, exactly.
Yeah.
They're not demonized.
Yeah.
They're actually celebrated. So, whereas in more Western culture, it's frowned upon. It's like, oh, you're imagining something, or you're lying, or whatever. Because people don't like to, I don't know, admit that this stuff is real.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah. So would you say now that you're like way out of school and everything, is it coming back? These abilities.
I think so.
Okay.
I agree with that. No, definitely. Like, I've seen stuff. I've definitely seen stuff a lot more since I've been out of high school, and I've been meditating quite a bit since I've gotten out of high school, and I've really got more involved. I wouldn't necessarily say in the occult, but yeah, the occult.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot more involved into the occult and meditation in general, like opening your third eye and stuff like that. You definitely are prone to seeing things, orbs, shadows, figures, whatever you want to call it.
The fun times.
It's at first it can be really scary and super intense.
Yeah.
But I think the more you see these things, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, makes sense. Definitely. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, there's a lot I want to add, but I'm going to give you a chance to speak.
Okay. Then moving back on to one of my mom's other notes. Apparently, I was 2 years old and 3 days old on the 26th of January 1999.
Okay.
My mom wrote, I was in the bathroom when I heard Caylynne running up the passage, screaming hysterically. She ran into my arms, holding tight, saying, Mommy, ugly man, Coco. Repeatedly, she screamed this. I put her down, by now extremely unnerved myself, and I went to go look. Caylynne would not come with me. Nervously, I left the bathroom and went down the passage. I saw nothing. I searched the rest of the house, nothing. I went to fetch Caylynne. She reluctantly let me pick her up, and I asked her to show me where she had seen this ugly man, Coco. She pointed to the ceiling just before a see-through piece of ceiling. So it's like a
skylight.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
That lets lots of light through for my plant's benefit. But I saw nothing, and Caylynne said that the ugly man, Coco, was gone, all gone.
Wow.
I searched the house again for good measure, still no one. I phoned my mom, or Nan as Caylynne calls Carol, my mother, and told her what had happened. She wondered if Caylynne hadn't seen a man's reflection through the see-through area. This all made perfect sense, and unnerved both my mother and I even more. Feeling danger closing about, Caylynne and I asked my mom to fetch us. She agreed, and soon we were gone to spend the day at Nan's. Later, Dion, my asshole father,
yes,
came to look for me. He had been out of the office at the time all this had happened, and Kaylee having found my note on the gate. He and I went back to check the house. Again, nothing. All this time, no one doubted that Caylynne had seen a man. My mother asked Caylynne, what did the ugly man Coco look like? Caylynne answered immediately, mud.
Jesus.
Later, Caylynne would not talk about the matter anymore. Later, Dion finished work and then came to fetch us. Once at home again, everything was back to normal. Dion and Caylynne were playing in the passage when suddenly Caylynne, in a little scared voice, said to her daddy, "There's ugly man Coco." She pointed to something far down the passage. On closer inspection, Dion saw it was a big fat brown moth. A moth was her creature of great scare. She carried on telling us that the moth was indeed the ugly man Coco. About a week before all this happened, a big moth similar to all this one had flown into me, causing me to scream, causing Kaylee to believe a moth to be feared. But another thing my mom later figured out, or she told me, moths are apparently a symbol of spirits as well.
Yeah, no, they are.
So I don't necessarily. What she also thinks was she doesn't really necessarily think like I was afraid because it was a moth, but because it was actually something I saw.
Yes. That makes sense.
Why would I call it a man?
Exactly. No, it's very scary. Some of these things. Yeah.
So I mean, I know it's just like probably a silly moth story, but I thought because it's kind of linked to spirits and everything, I thought that was interesting.
And the fact that you said mud, I don't necessarily think.
What kid goes mud?
No. Like mud. Okay, maybe.
It's like, okay,
Odd, very odd. It's actually very nice that your mother kept like notes of this.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But if you think back to this type of stuff, do you remember?
There is some stuff like I do remember, but there was a lot of times as well. It's like, hey, don't worry about it, you're just a child. You're just seeing things.
Yeah.
So like Tyler, I vaguely remember because I used to draw her a lot.
Okay.
Even when I was older, I was drawing her. So there are a few things as well. It's like I'd say more of the stuff in my teen years stuck with me. But when I was a kid, it's just kind of
makes me wonder how many of the things I've drawn are actually stuff I've actually subconsciously seen.
Yeah.
And the stuff I draw isn't necessarily the most friendly looking things.
Yeah, no. Anyway, you wanna do a thing?
So I think when I was like maybe 2 or 3, we went to go visit my aunt and uncle in Daniel Scale in the Northern Cape. It's close to Kimberley. And I can't remember why we were there. We were just visiting, I guess. But it was a very, very large house. Like it belonged to a doctor like way back in the day. And so they bought the house, they refurbished it, and it had I don't know how many rooms, but it was a huge house. It still is a huge house, and they still live there.
Yeah.
But I remember playing outside in the backyard. See, the backyard was huge, and they had maybe 12 or so bird cages, and they spanned the whole yard. It was just bird cages. They kept birds and stuff, and there were dog kennels as well. I don't know why they had dog kennels.
Interesting.
Very weird. It looked like something out of a zoo or something.
Yeah.
But there was this big tree in the middle of the yard with a little garden around it. And I was playing outside. I don't know what I was playing, but I was playing outside, and for some reason I was looking at the tree.
Okay.
And there was this white arm and hand reaching around the tree. And it was bright white. And so I was like, I freaked out, and I just started screaming. And I called out for my parents, and everyone like rushed to me because they thought I was in danger.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's someone with a white hand behind the tree, like, and they went obviously to go look, and obviously there's nothing. It was weird. I don't know. People might interpret this as an angel or something, or a ghost or whatever, but it's so weird, and it's so vivid. Like, it stuck with me even to this day. Like I was very young.
Yeah.
All of these things, most of these things that I saw, I was very young.
Yeah.
But they've actually stuck with me, and like no one recorded shit like this, like with you, unfortunately. If they did, there'd probably be a lot more weirder stuff.
Probably.
But yeah, But I remember having a lot of weird dreams, and also sleepwalking quite a bit in that house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Just wake up random places.
Yeah, strange stuff. And yeah, weirdly enough, I actually saved my brother from drowning in the swimming pool there. Yeah. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. He just fell in, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like this was probably like when I was like 6 or so, and I got him out of the pool because he couldn't swim. He was very little. There's a 3-year age difference between me and my brother.
Yeah.
So he couldn't swim, and I could. So, but the weirdest part was like there was clearly no fucking adult supervision.
Yeah. No.
Which is awful. See, back in those days, kids were kids, man. We were just go do your thing, guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I saved my brother from drowning.
That's interesting because, well, it's not paranormal, but my mom told me that we had a dog. I was just like really tiny, and I just went into the pool, just bloop, you know, and then the dog kind of like literally went and ran for my mom, pulled her to the pool. It's like you're a kid.
Hey, keep an eye.
So,
wow, that's scary.
Yeah,
That's very scary.
It's interesting.
Yeah. You know.
But you're sleepwalking. Go on about that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like even to this day, I guess I sleepwalk sometimes, randomly. I don't know why.
And then you go, oh, look at the Pokemon.
Whatever.
And I'm like, what?
No, but like
what?
I have quite a bit of. Sometimes I have sleep paralysis. Sometimes I have just night terrors in general, where I wake up and there's a spider or something, or a snake or whatever, and I'm just frightened as hell. I get out of bed and I run around and I turn the lights on looking for whatever I saw. I realize there's nothing and then I just go back to bed.
Yeah, I remember one of those nights. You're like, quickly get me here. What?
My favorite one of those when you were here was the Baby Yoda experience.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I was like, hey, get out of the way. There's Baby Yoda over there.
You were like, quickly, we need to switch sides, quickly. Oh, he's gone. I was like, what?
What's gone? I'm like, Baby Yoda. I don't know.
I think this was like close to when Mandalorian, the season 2.
Yeah. We watched the season 2 of Mandalorian. So I don't know. Subconsciously, it stuck. Anyway,
I was so scared.
So throughout my childhood, we used to go to this giant hotel. This huge. I don't know what you call it. It's like it's a hotel, but it's huge. It's in Natal. It's called the ATKV in Natalia.
Yeah.
Natalia. But I think it was in Ilovo. It's literally on the beach.
Yeah.
If you were to associate it with anything, I'd associate it with the Overlook Hotel.
Okay.
It's that big.
Okay.
And it's got a rec room. It had ping pong. It had mini golf. It had 2 pools where people used to scuba dive in. There was putt. They had jacuzzis. They had tennis courts. They had everything.
Jeez.
Restaurants, you name it. Arcades and everything. It was very, very cool. But we used to go there quite a bit when I was little.
Yeah.
And every night, I used to sleepwalk, and I would straight up go to the door and try and get out for some reason. And I'd wake up my parents because I'm literally turning the door's knob trying to get out. And so I remember actually waking up once during this, and my dad's like, "What's going on? Are you trying to get out?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm trying to get out." But I don't know why I was trying to get out, but every time I'm trying to get out of the room. I don't know why. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going, but something keeps telling me I have to leave this room.
Oh.
Every single time we've been there, I sleepwalk.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's some weird stuff that happened there, or what, but yeah, like I sleepwalk there, like regardless how old I got.
Yeah.
It just happened. To a point where I think my parents were actually like hiding the keys.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if you would go there today if it would be the same.
I honestly do not want to go there.
Yeah.
Because now I'm more capable of doing things, and there's no one to stop me.
Yeah.
So and there's been a few cases I think where people they murder their significant others and stuff
Yeah.
while they're in that state. And, you know, I'd rather not push my luck.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I think places like hotels and stuff, and apartments, and they hold a lot of, like, dark energy, and they probably hold a lot of deaths and
Yeah, because, I mean, there could have been a lot of suicides, there could have been a lot of old people that go there on holiday and just end up dying, you know.
Yeah, not just that, but people who was like, hey, I just murdered a guy down the street, I'm gonna check into this hotel for
Makes sense. Yeah, but
It's,
like a hotel that large, maybe it was only large to me because the last time we went there was when I was young. I was probably like grade 3 or so. So I think hotels and stuff overall they harness quite a bit of energy based off of the amount of people there. Like even in the Bible they say where 3 or more people are, that is where God is. So if you have, let's say, 5 people trying to conjure whatever the hell you want to conjure, you're gonna feel something. And if you have a whole hotel that's fully booked over a long weekend, all that energy is just so large and just so powerful, I think. And not all of it's good.
Yeah.
Not all of it's good. There's good people, there's bad people.
No,
so, you know.
Not just that, but if, like, for example, I used to watch a lot of, like, paranormal, obviously, videos. You get people who, like, go to the Queen Mary for the night, and they're like, we're gonna play the Ouija board.
Oh, exactly. Makes sense.
And I was like, good luck to whoever has to go there the next day.
Yeah, yeah. No, it makes sense.
Ugh.
You know.
Why is our hotel haunted? Well, I think it was those 2 teens who filmed for YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Great. I have to deal with this. And the thing is, like, people don't necessarily, they don't, especially in South Africa. In South Africa, they don't understand the whole concept of cleansing and, you know, expelling whatever spirits.
Very few people understand it.
That's the thing. That's very unfortunate for some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, something else with hotels and stuff, I think, is, I can't remember what I wanted to say now, but it was weird. Because it's just randomly came into my head. Yeah, like a lot of people go there on holiday and stuff, and you know, I don't know, they just have a bad experience, and that energy is just negative, and it's attaches to the room. You know, or what if, you know, someone with a fucking demon or something that has attached to someone goes to escape this haunted house that they currently live in, like that thing we watched the other day, where the lady's dad died.
Oh yeah.
So they went to investigate the house. So that lady checked into the hotel. So that thing probably followed her with and attached to something there. You know, stuff like that is possible, I think.
Because I mean, how many times do you go, say, to a grave and you come back and you're like, my place is not the same.
Oh no, definitely.
Things follow you home. You have to be like, do not follow me home. You do not have permission, or else I follow you.
Weird that you actually mentioned that now. I think in high school, we lived, well, from about grade 7, we moved into this house near the graveyard, like literally 2 streets up from the Memoriumweg graveyard. And me and some friends we just used to go there because, you know, that's pretty cool stuff. And for some reason I ended up taking a few green stones from one of the graves, because I was into Green Lantern and that kind of stuff. I was like, I'm gonna make my own Green Lantern ring out of this cool stuff. Awesome. So I take the stones and we went home and everything, and I had the scariest nightmares. And I went back to the graveyard the next day to return those stones. So I was like, I am not having this. It
did not belong to you.
No.
It was making sure, like, hey.
Yeah, no. And the worst part is, they were taken from the area where the children were buried. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's the weird part. So basically, I don't know if you've ever been there.
No.
But basically, I think the children's grave area is blocked off.
Okay.
From the rest of the other ones, I think. But if you go further on, there's like mausoleums and stuff where people actually do go to do drugs and stuff late at night. They smoke drugs and I'm not just talking about weed and stuff. I'm talking like amphetamines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you'll see stuff there at night which is awful and scary. I don't know how those people are able to do that at night, because I am shit scared of going there, and I am into the occult.
Yeah.
I would not fuck with that.
No, I don't think there's, but also, just like a side note with the hotel thing, so, the night of the Muse Awards, I was nominated, we had our own rooms to sleep in.
Yeah.
Like, all the nominees, they had their own rooms.
That's cool.
And then I remember checking into my room and everything, and then, you sneeze?
No, I'm good.
And then I checked into my room, got ready for the night, went down to the ceremony, and I'm like, oh, crap, I need to go back to my room.
Yeah.
I'm not up for this. I try to get drunk.
Makes sense.
Hoping I just pass out. It did not work. So I kind of sat up talking to Rian late at night because I was scared. I just had all the lights on.
Yeah.
I was like freaking out. Because it's not necessarily a big room, but the bathroom was just very spacious.
Yeah.
And there was something from the bathroom coming from there that freaked me out.
Weird.
And you could kind of hear noises in the bathroom.
Oh.
I had the aircon on.
Yeah.
But you could hear something moving around in the bathroom. I was like,
that's scary.
Nah.
That's scary, especially like if you think about how many people actually do commit suicide in bathrooms in hotels.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
But also something I've read, now that you mentioned you try to get drunk and everything. When okay, I read this, so this it can't be. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not true.
Yeah.
But the reason they call it a spirit, the liquor, right, is because when you get inebriated to a certain point, you literally become a vessel or a host for lower vibration entities.
Yeah.
And that is it's a weird concept, but stuff is more drawn to stuff like that.
That makes sense.
No,
I like I said, I wanted to get drunk. I think I drank like 2 glasses of wine.
Oh.
2 or 3.
Okay.
But I don't get drunk easily. That's my problem. You know this.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a problem. Well, I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's probably a good thing, but I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I even read a thing, it's like, when you drink alcohol, you actually lower, your soul leaves slowly.
Yeah. It basically comes down to that.
It becomes the empty vessel.
Yeah.
So that's actually interesting.
That's very scary.
Yeah.